everyone, watching Jana FX. In this video, I'll make technical analysis for tomorrow, 20th April. I'll share with you my possible entry points. Starting with euro dollar as usual. So guys, as you can see, euro dollar actually made a little bit of move down and then jumped up is one of the expectations. So right now it's in a quite important area. I just want to show you on a bigger time frame. And some news are expected on Thursday. So I would think that possibly pair will not continue the way up until those news, and maybe will consolidate in this area. So I can expect possible it might go a little bit of a correction and maybe come back into the same area and stay here for the next possible move from here. Of course, I would expect more towards going down as a correction. But at the same time, who knows, with the positive news, the pair might will try to break through and continue the way up. So I don't have any entry points at this moment. I mean, yes, okay, I could have possibly placed buy pending order from here, sell pending order from here. But like I'm saying, it is very important area, as you can see, guys, on a bigger time frame. It is in a downtrend channel. Here was a really nice move, but there was no good correction. So of course, on one hand, I'm expecting a possible correction first to see where it will go and then where it stop and give us the next bottom somewhere, and then would continue, possibly resume the uptrend. Um, so and at the same time, with all of these things going on, you see, it might just continue a bit further before it will decide to go for a bit of a correction. So you see, I mean, before the news, maybe it will try to break through and you know, go to the possibly next level. But I think I would still think a possibility of it not to do so and just like sit and accumulate here before the next move, because it's quite a strong area, I think, of for, you know, trying to break out. So for tomorrow, I will be more concentrating really on pound, but you see here, I can expect it might give a bit of a double top, and maybe we'll have a bit of consolidation here and we'll be able to use that area for placing new orders. At the same time, maybe it will go a little bit like this and give us, you know, the bullish flag, right? So that's why for now, I would rather just to wait for it, where to place the orders. I don't want to place it just yet. I mean, here it was a little bit better picture because we were quite close to this and it was looking like it would continue the way up. But right now, like I'm saying here, it's a little bit different situation because it's like right at the edge of this trend channel. So that's why I want to wait a little bit longer and see what's going to happen next. With pound, I'm going to do place the orders tomorrow. Definitely there will be news tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. You see, is actually how I was saying the pound. I saw it still more going up, and it did move up. I mean, I didn't expect such a sharp jump from the yesterday. Remember in the previous video, I told you guys to pay attention on that move, right? When we stopped here at 138.50, where I said it probably will be pulled back, but not all the way to 138, just like it was in previous here. It did pretty much exactly the same, and it jumped up, but this time it's actually smashed the 39. It wasn't the stopping point like it was here. I was expecting still a little bit of slowing down, maybe a bit of a correction, and then continue the way up. But instead it had a really big move back to 140, right? We've been here so many times, and now it's back here. Of course, my expectation would be finally it wants to break it and smash it and continue the way up, which I do see a possible scenario, but it's such a sharp move up and without a correction. So I think if there will be good news tomorrow, then it's going to finally break that and continue all the way, and who knows, even maybe to 141, something like that. Maybe we'll go for correction afterwards, and then if there will be good news on other day, it might even try to break even further, okay? So yes, I'm expecting the possibility of that scenario. At the same time, the possibly, and you see, I don't know during the Asian session there will be any movements. That's why right now I don't have any orders, but I'm going to place buy and sell pending orders before the news event. So you see, guys, for example, this moment, if it will stay like that, I'm going to use, of course, my EA. I'm going to place buy order and pending order sell with the distances. So it doesn't matter which way the market will decide to go, up or down. I'm going to I'm going to get either way, okay? Even if the one direction would be a losing trade for me, then I'm going to use my recovery, uh, and it should take me out because there will be 2 days of the news. There will be good moves. Okay, so at this moment you see I can't place them like this because we still have Asian session, and during Asian session it might go a little bit higher, it might break out, who knows, which I don't think so, but you never know what's going to happen. So I'm going to wait. So if it will go a little bit further, then I'm going to place my orders here. Maybe it will go down a little bit, and then I'm going to place my orders a little bit lower, so I need to move them. So that's what I'm going to do. Of course, so that's what I'm saying, guys. What can happen if there will be not very good news tomorrow? First, again, there could be nerves, and the market might have a jump and give us a week, and then jump back, and then finally go down, right? So if there will be no good news for pound, and then it might go to either this move level or maybe even further, because it was a really good sharp move up. So that's why with the bad news it might fall and then stop at one of the levels, who knows which ones, slow down a bit and wait for the next day of the news event. And from that, again, if there will be good news for pound, then it might resume. So that would be a really nice correction. And then with the good news, it might resume it, and I would expect finally trying to go and break it and continue the way up. Of course, if there will be bad news and it will go, and then another day of the bad news, then I would see pound dropping nicely and sharp to who knows again which level, and then finally stop and start to accumulate for the next possible move. Then of course maybe slowly it will start to resume again, and because of the good positive news for COVID and opening of England, right? So that's why I expect really nice and big moves, either direction. So I don't care which one it goes. I gave you a little bit of ideas what can happen, but I'm going to place the orders both directions based on where the market will be before the news event. For me, it will be 8 o'clock in the morning. So for in the UK, it's going to be what, around 7 a.m. So you need to check what hours for you are those early morning hours when the market will start to possibly make some movements based on those results. Okay, so now going to dollar Canadian. So my main concentration tomorrow, of course, will be on the pound. I'm going to place on pretty much main the pound yen and the pound CHF. I probably would not touch Canadian Australian pound against them, but anyway, the main ones I'm going to place orders, just as I explained with pound dollar. Dollar Canadian also had some sharp movements. First, you see it's actually broke this level, went down, gave a little bit other bottom, but stopped by the level, then jumped back up. So right now it's still in a downtrend channel though, guys, so it broke a little bit of this top, but it didn't jump higher, breaking this top. So if it would have, jump a little bit higher and then have a bit of a correction, I would expect it, trying to break out. But because it stopped here, I technically would see it possibly, going down, but I don't want to place any orders again. I would rather to see that, maybe go for a bit of a correction and stay in this area, not a little bit of, because if I place orders here, it might be stopped by this level. We've seen this before, something like that. So that's why I see it's a little bit not good position at this moment. And even though, yes, it does look like in the downtrend channel, but breaking out this little top might pay a little bit more higher. So I'm going to wait for some more consolidation. If it will sit in here, for example, we'll go back down and then, back up. So then I'll be placing buy pending order from that level and sell pending order from that level. Until then, I just want to wait a little bit. Dollar yen is one of the main expectations. Remember I told you guys of breaking down and then coming back. So I would use this level as a buy pending order, but it did not go sharply back up. You see, it's actually broke and stopped here. And now I want to wait for next either consolidation or give me a little bit of pattern. I mean, if it will sit in something like this here, go back up a little bit, that would be a possible quite nice area for placing orders, because you see actually these levels now could be a little bit adjusted something like this using no stops, these two bottoms now, because we do have a bottom. And what can happen, pair might go and try to break it up and then go just a little bit, you see, and be stuck with this level a little bit, and then go back up again, back down a little bit again, and you know, get into this area, maybe on top of it a little bit in this area. So anyway, for me would be this area. So I would presume that quite possibly it might just have a bit of um, like accumulation, consolidation in this kind of area. And if it stays somewhere like this, that would be perfect position for placing new orders. Okay. Of course, I'm going to leave it slightly as it was like this, because there is still possibility of, you know, to trying to go back and give that shoulder earlier. So at this moment, as you can see, dollar is a little bit weak, but you never know what can come out on the market, so that's why I don't exclude that it still might jump back. That's why let's see if it will give maybe a little bit of a channel here, then I would place this order, buy order. But at this moment, it's just not as is clear for me, right? It's clear, like I was saying, because I was expecting it possible given a week and then jump back, and then I'll be placing this as an order. But right now, you see, it's still, I'm using this bottoms to put that level. So it quite possibly still could go a little bit further, okay, and it will go a little bit further and then try to go back, then this could be a stopping point with a little bit breakout and coming back. You see, guys, so this a little bit changed the picture. That's why I want to see a little bit longer for me giving something to place the orders. At this moment, I think it's a little bit risky. And like I'm saying, more concentration will be on the pound pairs tomorrow, so I'm going to just leave it for now and then decide what to do with. Australian dollar, on the other hand, had moved as expected up. Remember, I was telling you, only would see placing orders buy, jumped a little bit up. Now it's started to go back down. I have orders here actually buy and sell at the same time, because pretty much from here it might continue the way up. It didn't reach the level, or like, you know, didn't try to break out the previous top. So here the situation could be it either can go and try to break this top, go to the next level, right, and then trying to break out or have another slowdown correction. At the same time, from here it might go all the way down here, right, to the previous bottom. I can move probably a little bit here, because it's a little bit of bottom here. So that's why it has a good distance to one level here and a good distance to this one, you know, for my small trade. So that's why I will try to catch the movement. So if it will go back in here, you see there's the active orders on my bigger account, not on this one. And so if it goes back, for example, here, just like I was telling you, then I will be placing the orders. So it depends if it will give me a small profit or will still stay in a profit, then I would be looking, if it will go back and started to sit in here, then I will be looking to place, of course, sell pending order from here, and possible pending order buy from here, because you see it might still go and give us a bottom and resume the uptrend. Okay, but at this moment I'm concentrating on this area, so and then we will see. Pound yen, just like I was telling you guys, because at this moment it's still moving as expected. You see, that's what I was showing you in the previous video. See, from here it didn't go right, didn't consolidate here, it did fall a little bit, gave us correction as I was waiting for, and jumped up again down. So it gave us a bit of the bullish flag and broke through this area, just as I was telling you about, right? And so that movement during Asian session might continue the way up, you see, might have a bit of a correction. So that's why before the news event, I will be looking where it will end up, higher, lower, or the same, and I will be placing my orders both directions, okay, for exactly, because I have no idea what the news are going to bring, how the market will react on it. Of course, after this move, technically I would have considered a little bit of correction, giving me a little pattern, and then continue the way up, right? Or given, who knows, the turning around, because we are still quite far away from the previous top. and but because the news tomorrow doesn't matter where it's going to stop, I'm going to place orders both directions, and let's see afterwards what's going to happen. With euro pound, I'm not sure because the other pairs are a bit stronger movers. Euro pound once again is expected, right? Double top. I was telling you about it. Broke a bit. I still would like to see this area, but tomorrow it might jump back up or continue the way down. So I think I would rather prefer to see the reaction after the news, because the movement on euro pound might be not very big, except it's in a good channel, good distances, to be honest. One level and another level, not this one though, could be nice movements um, and possibilities to place the orders, but I would rather, like I told you last time, to see it go back in here, or actually still go back down in here, and then we will see if it will be a second top again, right? And then a possible go back up, or it might go back in here and give us, well, who knows, that little bottom, go back and just consolidate here and then try to break out, or giving us a bit more like a bearish flag and continue the way down. Okay, so like I'm saying with the news, of course, all the technicals could be you see, I don't like here to place it because it's had a little bit of the drop and then come back, and that's what I don't really like much. You see, if it would have just sit nicely, then quite possible. But I don't know what it's going to give me before the news event tomorrow. I think I'm just going to wait and see. Okay, with gold, so broke a little bit up, so that's the one of the orders. Buy, had a bit of a buy and a bit of a sell, so didn't get to the next area, which is quite strong resistance. So guys, now to be honest, the same waiting time, because right now there is not much of the news for gold and it's reacting on 10-year bonds. They went up a bit and the gold went down a bit. Okay, so because technically looking, I would say we are in channel, uptrend channel in both ways, like right, little channel up, a bit bigger channel. So of course I would expect the possible, if it's a bigger channel, to have go for a little bit correction, right, going down and then possibly turning around. But at the same time, it's in this little one, and then can just go to this area and then resume the uptrend. So that's how I would see. So the first possibility, we're going down here and have a bit of consolidation, technically going back up, or breaking out and continue the way down. Depends how the, I guess, the bonds will act, or there is anything else happens and they're gonna give something, I don't know, about COVID news, vaccine news, something else. So technically looking, it's actually broke the tops, right? So went up, but got back down, but broke those little bottoms. Okay, so and because of that, so here I need to see what it's going to give us. Maybe it will go like a little bit up again, giving us a little bit bearish flag, and then continue the way down, trying to break in, right, into this area, and then start to accumulate again for a next possible move. Or it will just, you know, during Asian session, who knows, maybe it will just fall here anyway. So I don't have a pretty much right now a clear picture for it, so I'm waiting for the next movement to see where I can place my orders. Okay, so as for that, I'm not having any entry points, and then just sitting and waiting time. So that's pretty much it, guys. But like I was saying, you see the pound CHF given a little bit of here a new possibility. But I'm gonna, like I'm saying, I'll wait for where it's going to be during this Asian session. Maybe we'll continue a bit more. If not staying here, then I'll be placing my orders for the possible entry points. With the other players like Pound Canadian, I had a look to see how the huge move. Also, I'm not going to place the orders with them because, you know, Canadian is a little bit of depending on the moves with the oil. I mean, there is not much of the moves at this moment. But like if you'll be looking the same, I would just look for placing orders both directions on pound pairs. They all have moved quite nicely, big moves, and with the news, you see on all of them, it's they need kind of a little bit of corrections, but with the news, they might have those corrections if there will be not very good news for pound, right? But at the same time, there will be no correction if the news is too good, and then they just can continue their way up. But that's what I will be looking for, placing just the orders for directions on pound pairs before the news events happening. So that's my guys views for tomorrow, 20th April. I wish you all happy trading, and see you in my next video. Bye everyone.